Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Rex. This is Whiskey
From Full Weddle. Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch. You got me the
Whiskey.
I deserved.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch. You got me the
Whiskey.
I deserved.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch. You got me the
Whiskey.
I deserved.
Thanks, Mitch.
You got me the
Whiskey.
I deserved, and you helped my entire family.
So, this is Pinhook.
Yeah.
Three guys who got together and started sourcing
So
and releasing special edition single barrel releases of MGP.
this is a striking similarity to a whiskey we very recently did, where there's a couple of guys in
In
Scottsdale,
Scottsdale. Yeah, who did it from Scotland.
Arizona. So there's a few guys that did this. Where are they
Yes.
from?
So, this is Kentucky,
Okay.
right? And it was, they worked with Castle and Key to pick things and wait for ages. They're purchasing things from, like, this is MGP.
Okay.
And then they are letting it sit, and when a barrel's ready, they're like, this is the one.
Right. Who's Castle and Key?
Castle and Key is a pretty famous distillery.
Okay.
Marion Barnes was the...
So Castle
yeah.
and Key, they have the relationships and they know where all the
They know the people.
They know the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm interested in
Yeah.
is, we have another Pinhook, but we're going to compare it to a more easily accessible MGP.
Right on.
Right.
Right on. Because we have found meaningful variation from
Yes.
barrel to barrel.
Yes.
Whenever you're not blending them together and looking for that uniform kind of experience, yeah, you can get like I don't know, the arbitrary numbers that we use are about 10 to 15% pretty often from barrel to barrel on
I'm looking up
at
a
least the
single barrel.
MGPs we've experienced.
I'm looking up a single barrel rye.
Yeah.
Because I had one in mind, but we've kind of used it recently.
Well, this has got to be the high rye MGP.
It's 95.
Okay.
95.5.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the 95.5
Yeah,
Nashville.
because that rye spice and character. Oh, they left it. It's 54.5% alcohol. All right.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Smooth Ambler. I wonder if we still have that one.
I'm just gonna stop cutting out all the times where you
I roam,
just start
disappear.
wandering around. Because the episodes are sub 10 minutes. Because I cut out all the crap that's just a waste of your time. But,
I have the Smooth Ambler bourbon, but we don't have the Smooth Ambler rye. Hi, rye.
High rye.
Hi, rye. So I'm still getting that cherry spice.
Spice is the word.
And then, wow, that is very dry spice, explosive, pointy, sharp, pointy fangs.
The initial blush of this, you have some sweetness. You have like a little bit of a sugared tea sweetness, and then
It just firecrackers.
makes way.
But it's a
entirely
mild firecracker. It's like a
for
black
this-
cat.
for the rye. And then there's a tannic barrel note that shows up
Mm-hmm.
and just stays with you, but it never gets overwhelming.
Yeah, it's so fire. Do you remember you used to like light the end of a black cat string and just throw the whole thing instead of doing one at a time?
Yes.
I did that when someone was using the restroom once.
I did.
Slid it under the door.
Me and my buddy. He lived across the street growing up.
Right.
When my neighbor got in their car, allegedly, we may have lit a string of black cats as they were about to pull back, threw them under the car, came around the corner, threw them under the car so they didn't see us, and just started.
So they're backing up and underneath the car. I can't believe you didn't set something like an oil pan on fire or
Yeah.
something. Okay, I really...
So,
Oh, there it is.
Hold on. For the record, you can't. We have a mental clock, like a clock of how much content we need
But
to
you
shoot.
can't count standing there
You
at
can't
that
count
time?
because this last one, I'm going through the footage. Oh, I'm going through the review. I'm reviewing the thing, and I can tell Daniel spent so much time wandering around. He thinks we have a 20-minute episode.
Yeah, but
I
no,
know.
we got like an
we
8-minute
hardly got
episode.
5 minutes in, and I keep trying to get back into it, and you're totally over it. You're like, yep, that's I gave my nuts.
Yep,
and
and
so
done.
just really okay. It's like, oh my god, that doesn't count.
This room is so enchanting. I just get drawn into it.
Yeah.
I need a lav. That way you can always hear me off in the background.
You know what would be
muttering.
you know what would be enchanting? The rug.
Oh, we do need a rug.
You know what?
You're gonna buy a rug?
Why a f***ing rug?
We've
Because
got,
this is
like-
how shit works.
we've got, like,
I
14
say
rugs
something
on the
needs to
property.
happen, and people go, yeah, we'll do that. Never happens.
I don't remember you saying
Never-
there ever needed to be a rug in here. Everybody take deep breaths. Lavance,
This is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
it's on camera.
No, I know it's on camera.
okay.
I'm hoping that wasn't in an episode we've already released, and I cut it out because it was a waste of time. Okay.
I found the comparison, by the way. This is the Redemption Rye. It's within 1 year of being the same age. It's not single barrel, and it's proofed down to 46.
This is like it's like a cherry Jolly Rancher.
It is, isn't it?
Very different character on
Totally different ballgame.
Boom.
You know what? But if you go back to the pinhook now.
Yeah.
And you'll see that cherry is there. You can see on the proofed down Redemption the same kind of characteristics though. But this one, everything's turned up because of the proof and the single barrel oils and the wood tannins.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's more mild, proofed down a little bit, a little more sensitive.
Do you think it? Which one is it? Or you have that one, right? Do you think it improved with a little bit of proofing down?
No.
No?
Pinhook is definitely better, even though I think it's younger.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could really go for the dry.
All right. Forget that.
don't
Let's
know.
actually proof down ourselves.
I don't know if I really go for the dry rise. And I'm hoping that some of the sweetness gets unburied, gets uncovered by watering it just a little bit.
All right, you ready? Get set.
This is how proofing works.
That's how you get the whiskey to meld with the water.
I actually like that better proof.
Yeah, I do too.
Man, it did. It uncovered
It's
the
so
sweetness.
sweet.
Hold on. It uncovered the sweetness.
And you're not struggling with the spicy notes.
Right.
And I say struggle, rye drinkers wouldn't be considering that struggling. The same way that peat smoke loving whiskey people don't struggle with smoke.
Right.
But for someone who doesn't like the really dry, spicy ryes, subduing those notes a little bit is helpful.
The notes that did get subdued were the ones that I wasn't really sure about, and the ones that I was kind of, looking for, not really finding very well. Those showed up in spades.
I could see that.
Yeah. All right. Zach's Blesky.
Blesky.
Zach's Blesky. Okay, guys, rookie question, I'm sure. I love me some whiskey and understand the basic process for most of them, but I don't understand how, like a bourbon, for example, can get flavors like cherry, vanilla, or caramel from something made typically of corn, malt, and rye. Can someone help me understand this, please? Yes. And Daniel wandered away again.
Yeah. It's not here.
Wait for the cut.
Zach, here's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
There are chemicals. When we taste cherry, we don't taste cherry, we taste the chemical responsible for creating the flavor we interpret as cherry. That chemical can be found in other things and will result in a note that you interpret as, oh, there's a little bit of cherry flavor in this. That's how essences of things are created, is extracting of chemicals and creating flavor profiles. There's a book written by a Frenchman whom I can't remember right now, and it's called, I think, Taste. He takes all these different chemicals, and there's one pull-out page that has all the spread of all these chemicals responsible for certain flavors, and then it shows the overlap of that flavor in food. Oh. So you can say this specific chemical is in this wine,
right,
also responsible for these four flavors in these four foods, and he uses it to help create pairing menus where you can accent.
How big is it?
An overlap chemical. It's a big, like, coffee table looking book. That book is a good example of the fact that chemicals across all these different boundaries, and your brain interprets those chemicals as flavors. So there's no cherry in here, but the combination of wood and grain and alcohol creates new chemical compounds that can also be found in other foods.
So with this, I'm getting some sweet tea, more sweet tea, actually some apples starting to show up. There's no cherry, really, to your point.
It's very sweet tea.
And there's like a nice little, that tannic layer, that's tamped down a little bit. You're just left with a slight bit of oakiness.
You know what
underneath.
this is? This is not sweet tea anymore that's like black tea, sweet tea, like Lipton. Mm-hmm. This is like when you go to the fancy restaurants and you ask for tea and they give you an herbal tea.
Right. Oh, herbal for sure.
Yeah, so it's like an herbal sweet tea.
Yeah. No,
like the fancy one's called like rainforest.
The herbaceousness.
Yeah,
doesn't
something like
really
that.
Go. I think you've spent enough time in front of the camera.
To have an actual episode.
Not wandering away from the people. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight me, I fight for a friend.
You steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.